In this first session, we will explore current perceptions of reflective practice and its usefulness in teaching and learning. We will also examine definitions and explain key components of reflective practice. And then we will also look at a range of tools used for reflective practice. I especially like this image as I see reflexive practice as those purposeful, welcome voices in my head. Voices asking me about what I'm doing. Voices holding me accountable. Voices asking me those real questions, not just about my professional development, but also about my personal growth. Pause this video for a few minutes. And let's take a few minutes to fill out this schedule about your day. If you're watching this video anytime after 6 p.m., then use yesterday as your point of reference. You may find it a bit difficult to remember all that you did, especially since most of us are so busy. But it is necessary that we develop the skills necessary to reflect. So take the time needed to recall as many things as you can remember. Now, through a period of honest reflection, let us ask ourselves a few questions. What happened? Did you utilize your time effectively? What could you have done better? What needed more time? What needed less time? What can you change to have a better tomorrow? And what have you done in the past that impacted how your day was spent? In your professional development as an educator, you must have that ability to reflect on your practice. You must take that time to ask yourself about your practice. Some of these questions are you reaching your students? Was the lesson engaging? Was the lesson well planned? What about the assessment? Was that effective? What of the objectives and my learning outcomes? Did I reach them? Were they clear? As an educator, through reflective practice, we examine the parts of our lessons for effectiveness and ultimately for our own professional development. What is reflection? Reflection is an imaginative, creative, nonlinear human activity in which people recapture their experiences, analyze, and evaluate them. Two other definitions that I like comes from Scone and Moon, and Scone 1987 describes reflective practice as an important tool for beginning teachers to improve their practice, and Moon 1999 describes reflective practice as an active, dynamic, action-based and ethical set of skills placed in real life and dealing with real complex and difficult situations. So, we use reflective practice as a tool for self-knowledge, for professional development, to enhance student learning experiences, and as a teaching and assessment tool. We already established the fact that we must reflect as individuals. We must reflect as professionals, and we must set aside that time for reflection. But that is very personal. How does reflection happen? What works best for you? What time works best for you? The place that works best for you. It can be a coffee shop. It could be somewhere out in nature. It could be on a long walk. It could be jogging through your poetry writing, through songwriting, through meditation. For me, the use of a journal and a blog, an online blog, I use social media, Facebook, and online blog, was extremely helpful. For practical reasons, most people capture their reflections in written forms such as diaries, post-it notes, lesson plans, journals, portfolios, poetry, stories. However, some capture it through dance, through music, through different ways of expression. Whatever way you express yourself, we must reflect as professionals. I highlighted journal and blog for a very important reason. I teach the value of a journal in reflective practice courses. It is a very good tool. I also used a blog when I wrote my first book, which is a product of my reflections. 100% of the content was written as a journal and online blog. And I wrote pieces in so many different places and doing so many different activities. In our busy, rushed world, as professionals, we must take that time to stop, to pause, to ask, to question, to review, to evaluate, so we can do better at moving forward with informed actions. Reflective practice is an important part of the learning process because it forces you to evaluate your knowledge, values, and practices in order to develop as an educator. Many people struggle with the reflection process and find it hard to articulate their learning experiences. That is why we need to invest in reflecting and gain those skills. This too is a part of our own professional development as professionals. Reflective practice is more than self-awareness. It is self-awareness, but it goes farther than self-awareness, in which we pause and look back at something that happened. The moment we start reflecting upon a situation, we naturally begin to raise questions, and not just reflective questions, but reflexive questions about what happened, why it happened, and how can we be better at it. It should enable us as educators to think systematically about the learning experiences of the lives we influence in the visible and invisible ways. Reflection benefits us because we learn. We become inspired, we take action, and we improve. Essentially, we learn from experience through the process of reflective practice. For me, there is no use reflecting if you will not take action. If you have no plans to grow, it's almost like wasting your time reflecting. And reflection should lead to personal growth and professional development. One of the most popular reflective cycle or model that we will talk about is Gibbs' reflective cycle. In the cycle, you begin with a clear description of what happened. You must be able to articulate what is happening around you as a professional. Then we move into feelings. How do you feel? Then evaluation and analysis. And then we draw some conclusion from this process of analysis. Informed conclusion, not just your feelings, but informed conclusion. And then, of course, we take action. We are looking back, looking in, and looking forward. Other reflective cycles, include Kolb's experiential learning. We'll also take some time to look at William Glaser's choice theory. Afterwards, you can examine Brookfield's theory of reflection. John as a very good model. John's model of reflection is also a very good model that I like. Then a lot of educators also look at Donald Scone's model, reflection in action, reflection on action. And another good one will be Driscoll 1994 reflection model. What? So what? Now what?